Today I was writing when I realized at the current pace I'm working at, it would take me 11 months to finish my book. And then I wondered, how many people have had the same realization? How many people have also realized that they won't see their finished product for the next 11 months? Full-time authors write a lot in only 24 hours, and that's what separates them from the people who write for a hobby. Stephen King says that if you want to be a professional author, you should write about 2,000 words per day. Now, to put that kind of rate into perspective, in a single month, your end product would be about 60,000 words long, which is on the short end for a novel, but is still long enough to be published. P.G. Wodehouse, a prolific writer from the early 1900s, would write upwards of 2,000 words every day in just 4 hours. From a handful of online discussions, the consensus is that the average Joe can push out about 200 to 400 words in an hour, which means most people are going to write 800 to 1,600 words in 4 hours. So how can we, the average person, attain the aforementioned magic number of 2,000 words a day without losing our sanity? Well, here's my answer. Authors use discipline. And they have a few techniques for this, which can be split into 3 main categories: the routine, maintaining accountability, and establishing focus. When these 3 things work in tandem with each other, an author reaches peak productivity, and soon you'll be able to do so too. I'll start first with establishing a routine which you can rely on. Go to your phone or a software of your choice and create a schedule. Establish a part of your day you can reliably put everything aside and begin writing. Even if it's an hour-long study block or in the morning before you go to work, establish some sort of routine. Prolific authors treat their work hours like any other job. They give themselves a target goal for the day, and they work at it during the time they're supposed to. The only difference is that you play the role of your own boss, which can be self-detrimental if you don't properly handle the responsibility. The benefits of a routine might not be clear at the beginning, but as time goes on, you'll notice that the writing will feel like a natural part of your day. If you continue to write for several months at a set time, it might feel strange or off-putting when you skip a day. This kind of psychological conditioning will make writing an almost compulsive experience. If you've ever stuck to a workout schedule for a really long time, you might have felt that same feeling when you skip a workout. When you create your routine, keep in mind that the best time for writing is when you've just woken up. When we just get up, our brains are usually pretty clear and not thinking about too much. This means if you sit down and get to work, you can usually get into the flow of things pretty quickly. Just keep in mind that you shouldn't overload yourself. There's a good balance between quantity and quality, and that won't be achieved if you're just pressing keys on your keyboard without any thought behind them. Anytime you spend writing something in the interest of quantity, you'll end up spending double time on editing. And for the other way around, if you're only writing to focus on quality, which you shouldn't do for the first or rough draft, you'll burn yourself out even faster without even having made much progress. If you use these tips to create a routine best suited to you, you'll have a much easier time achieving a daily writing goal of 2,000 words. If you only write at times where you feel like it, you'll notice that you won't have any sort of consistency in not only your progress, but in the quality of your work as well. And in the same vein as routine, accountability is a very powerful tool in your writing productivity. It's the same idea as trying to get sober, except instead of being an alcoholic, you're a procrastinator who needs to get to work on your book. So you use another person to keep you accountable. Or, I don't know, maybe you are an alcoholic? Well, this isn't to the alcoholics in my audience, but for any students, college or otherwise, join a writing club. There's a good chance your institution has a writing club. And if you aren't sure, there's no harm in asking around. These clubs are full of people just like you, just wanting to write their next book or work on something writing adjacent. If you're a part of some group check-ins, it's a great way to maintain accountability for your work. And similar to clubs, if you have a friend who is a writer or is interested in becoming a writer, talk to them about being accountability partners. If you're close to someone, their voice will have a larger impact on your motivation than you realize. I talked about this in my last video, but outside opinions really open our eyes to a whole world we can't see. If you're the competitive type of person, set up a competition with this person. Try and see who can write the most in a set period of time. Give it a month to see who can put down the most words. And if their writing is frustratingly better than yours, that just means you gotta work even harder. Now if you're like me and you don't have friends, you have a lot of free time. And in that free time, you might have at one point picked up the book Atomic Habits and read it. If you haven't, then all you need to know is that building good habits is only facilitated by a reward loop. It's kind of like doing a push-up so you can eat 1 potato chip, but instead of push-ups, it's the time you spend writing. Do an hour of writing, and then watch an episode of a show you enjoy. However, try and keep the reward until the end of your writing session, because from personal experience, it's easy to get distracted by the reward and then forget what you were doing beforehand. And speaking of getting distracted, it's important to know that we live in the age of the internet. For the last 2 decades, social media has been developing the perfect algorithm for wasting your time. That's why it's important to stay away from anything that can take your focus off your most important responsibility, writing your book. According to Harmony Healthcare, the average American spends 5 hours and 16 minutes on their phone each day. What's even more startling is that this number is a 14% increase from last year, 2024, and it's only going to go up. About 70 to 80% of that time is spent on social media apps like Instagram and TikTok, which aren't going to help you write 2,000 words a day. This means if you want to write more, you should just silence your phone. You need to put it away. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And that's all you can ask for in this very dopamine-deprived time in history. I took this anti-internet fervor an extra step by turning off the Wi-Fi to my computer, which is what I used to write with. I use Google Docs too. I might be throwing myself under the bus here, but it has an offline writing feature that allows me to do all the things I need to do without the internet, okay? And that's all I need. That's all I'm asking for, okay? Don't make fun of me because I use Google Docs, okay? At the end of the day, being productive is more about instituting some sort of consistency in the way you do things. For a while, I've been roaming around, writing only when I feel like it. It wasn't always like this, I promise, but it's been a game changer to get back into the flow of things. Assigning hours out of my day to write has half the time it would take me to finish my book. Accountability has given me a reward system, which has pushed me to do better, and putting away the internet, which has long been my worst enemy, has done wonders. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video or learned something, leave a like so you can support whatever I do in the future. If you want to watch more videos when they come out, subscribe and turn on notifications. Alright, that's it. Bye!
5, 4, 3, 2. The radiation suit has been under blueprint activist.